Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagnadharita Shri Vishakanitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Have you completed this verse? Hare Krishna. So, welcome all to today's chapter number 6. Sorry, chapter number 7 of Bhagavad Gita. So, we'll just check. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, last time we saw four types of people who do not surrender to Krishna and four types of people who surrender to Krishna. So out of that, who is the best? This shloka says that Krishna likes one who is a jnani. So let's recite this verse number 17. Tesham jnani nitya yukta eka bhakti vishishyate priyo hi jnani no atyartham aham sa cha mama priya. Of this, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best, for I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. So we saw there are four type of person: Artharthi, Jignasu, Arthasabha. So one who is distressed, one who is in need of money, one who is inquisitive, and one who is in knowledge of the absolute. So Krishna likes person who is in knowledge and is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. So this person is the best who has knowledge and is involved in pure devotional. And Krishna is also very dear to the devotee, and devotee is also very dear to Krishna. So this way it works. Purport: from the all the free from all the contaminations of material desires, the distressed, the inquisitive, the penniless, and the seeker after the supreme knowledge can all become pure devotees. But out of them, he who is knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires becomes a really pure devotee of the Lord. And of the four orders, the devotee who is in full knowledge and is at the same time engaged in devotional service is, Lord says, the best. By searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from material body, and when he further advances, he comes to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. When one is fully purified, he realizes that his conscious position is to be eternal servant of Lord. By association with pure devotees and the inquisitive, the distressed, the seeker after material and amelioration, and the man in knowledge, all become themselves pure. But in the preparatory stage, the one who is in full knowledge of the Supreme Lord is and is at the same time executing devotional service is very dear to the Lord. He who is situated in pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality Godhead is so protected in devotional service that material contamination cannot touch him. So, in the long run, whoever comes to Krishna, maybe he's in desire, he's in need, he needs money, or he's distressed, or he's inquisitive, or he's after seeker of supreme knowledge. All will get liberated because they have come to Krishna. But at the present time, the person who is in knowledge is most dear to Krishna because he has knowledge and is executing devotional service. And therefore, such a person is very dear, and Krishna protects his devotional service, and so that the material contamination doesn't touch him. So this is very important thing. See, we are in this material world, so whatever we do, whatever we hear or do anything, so there will be material contaminations. However pure devotee may be, there will be demands of mind, there will be demands of body and all. So if the person is pure, such demands will not affect him. So in the conditioned stage, what happens is the demands which are there of the mind and body all, they affect us very much. But in the pure state, it doesn't affect the person. And therefore, this is a difference between a pure devotee and a conditioned soul. And therefore, here Krishna says that when one is fully purified, he realizes that his conscious position is to be eternal servant of Lord. So we can be only happy if we serve the Lord. But most of the times we ask the Lord to serve us. We want this, we want this, we want that, and all. So we go to Lord for asking these things. And therefore, we may get the things, but internally we'll never be satisfied or happy. The real satisfaction and happiness comes when we serve the Lord. And that is the ultimate goal. And that happens when one becomes a very pure devotee. So we may start learning it, but the perfection comes when we become a pure devotee. So there it's all explained. So further, so here Krishna says everybody is udara. Why? Because they have come to him. Otherwise, in that condition, they would not have come to him. But because they have come to him, he's saying everybody is udara. Udara sarve evete ज्ञानी च आत्मवे मयमतम आस्तित सहि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमं गतिम. So all these devotees are undoubtful magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like my own. Being engaged in my transcendent service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. So above all are magnanimous. Udara sarva evete. But jnani tva atma eva me matam. So he's saying, but the jnani who is in full knowledge, he's like himself. He's like own. Not in quantity, but in quality. So why he's like own is because he's the most intimately connected to Lord, because he has knowledge of the Lord. And then by engaging in transcendental service, that is devotional service, what will happen? Yukta Atma, what will happen is he's sure to attain me. So anybody who is practicing pure devotional service, we should understand that he will surely attain Lord. Just has to take care that he doesn't do offenses. At the same time, continue his devotional service. If one says that one cannot go in this lifetime, we do not have to worry, because bhakti is eternally, it will continue in the next lifetime also. And in this way, we will achieve our perfect goal, that is going back to Godhead. Purport: it is not that devotees who are less complete in knowledge are not dear to the Lord. The Lord says that all are magnanimous, because anyone who comes to the Lord for any purpose is called Mahatma or great soul. See, this is a very important thing. Krishna doesn't say that who is not less complete in knowledge are not dear. Everybody is dear to Lord. Every living entity, even an ant or anybody, is very dear to Lord. And nobody in this world is not dear to Lord. So the Lord provides to everybody. Even Lord provides to atheists who does not not believe in Lord, and therefore everybody is dear to Lord. But the Lord says, those who come to me are magnanimous. So because they are coming to him, they could have gone anywhere. And see, whenever somebody comes to us for help, so we are generally very annoyed sometimes, and sometimes we don't have the capacity even to help him. But here, Krishna has the capacity to help him. He is very powerful and he is a friend of all living entities. And therefore, he is saying that because the person has come to him, he is magnanimous. So generally, when person gives something, he is called magnanimous. That, oh, he's udar, or he's giving so much charity, he's helping so many people. But here, if we see, the standard of Krishna is, if somebody comes to him for help, he's saying that such a is a Mahatma or great soul. So therefore, we should understand how great Krishna is. That anybody who comes to him for any purpose, for any need, is also great. And therefore, we should always go to Krishna for any need. Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yenta purushapama. So whether we have any desire for liberation, whether we want to merge into Supreme Personality Godhead, whether we have all material desires, whether we want to do devotional, whatever we want to do, whatever is our desire, we should always approach Supreme Personality Godhead. That is all. The devotees who want some benefit out of devotional service are accepted by Lord because there is an exchange of affection. So it's very important, because when we go to Lord, what happens is there the exchange of affection takes place. There is some transition which is starting. After affection, they ask the Lord for some material benefit. And when they get it, they become so satisfied that they also advance in devotional service. So when we ask others, what happens when the things are fulfilled, sometimes we become proud or we forget that on. But when we ask Lord, what happens is we become satisfied, and also we progress in our devotional service. But a devotee in full knowledge is considered to be very dear to the Lord because his only purpose is to serve the Supreme Lord, and without love and with love and devotion. So others are asking to the Lord, but the person in full knowledge, what he does is he serves the Lord, and therefore he is very dear to the Lord. And therefore, our ambition in life should be that we will serve the Lord in the association of devotees. Such a devotee cannot live a second without contacting or serving the Supreme Lord. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is very fond of his devotee and cannot be separated from him. So it is reciprocal. The devotee is very dear to Lord, and the Lord is very dear to the devotee. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord says, Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham mad anyatena janati naham tebhyo managapi. The devotees are always in my heart, and I am always in the hearts of devotees. The devotee does not know anything beyond me, and I also cannot forget the devotee. There is very intimate relationship between me and the pure devotees. Pure devotees in full knowledge are never out of spiritual touch, and therefore they are very much dear to me. So in this material world, what a relationship we have, either with dying, the relationship is broken, or either with time, the relationship is ended because the person passes away, or there are some misgivings and so many things happen in between. But the relationship between Lord and his pure devotee is so perfect, and it's so amazing that always there is increase in the affection. There is always increase in the uh, exchange of between them, and therefore this relationship of Lord and the devotee or the jiva, it has passed so many tests. It is going on to pass so many tests, life after life. If we see any living entity, and if we have any relationship with anybody, It will last for one lifetime, maybe two lifetimes, maybe some lifetimes, but not every lifetime. But relationship with Krishna is there for lifetimes and lifetimes. And when we get liberated, it will still continue in the spiritual world. And therefore, this relationship is very pure, and we should try to cultivate this relationship uh, as far as our ability goes. And for that, very easy is anukulya sankalpa pratikulya varjanam. That is, whatever is favorable, we should do, and whatever is unfavorable, we should reject. These simple things can help us to progress fast in devotional service. Now, he's saying that why such person is dear is because such person is very, very rare. We will not find such persons very easily. So he says he is very rare. Verse number 19. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabham. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. So we should understand that anybody who is surrendered to Krishna is very fortunate soul, and such souls are very, very rare. So there may be around the population is more than around 700 crores, but out of that, if we see, majority don't believe in Lord, or they don't follow the instruction of Lord. And if we go on graduation, we will not find even more than 1% who are actually surrendered to the Lord. And therefore, this number is very less. And therefore, if we get association of such devotees, we are very, very fortunate. Purport: the living entity, while executing devotional service or transcendental rituals, after many, many births, may actually become situated in transcendental pure knowledge, and that the Supreme Personality of God is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. So, even if somebody is inquisitive and wants to uh, have some relation with the Lord, he'll to find a good teacher is not easy. To find a good path is not easy. There are so many paths which are misleading. There are so many teachers who are misleading. So to find right path and right teacher itself is a big task. And after finding that, to progress is also it takes a lot of endeavor. And therefore, after many, many births, uh, one may actually become situated in transcendental pure knowledge. And then one can know that my goal is Supreme Personality God. In this world, people have so many goals. I want to become millionaire, billionaire. I want to become famous. I want to have the best of all. I want to become Miss Universe, Miss Universe, and all. So there are so many goals in this life. I want a big house, and like this, there are so many goals. But the main goal that I want to achieve the spiritual realization, I want to go back to God, is very less. And therefore, we should strive for that which is not attainable very easily. In the beginning of the spiritual realization, while one is trying to give up one's attachment to materialism, there is some leaning towards impersonalism. But when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in spiritual life that the activities constitute devotional service. So realizing this, he becomes attached to Supreme Personality God and surrenders to him. So in the beginning, there may be some attachment to materialism or leading towards impersonalism, that we and Lord are same, or we can become Lord and all. But when we become further advanced, then we understand that, oh, there are active spiritual life, and that constitutes devotionals, and we cannot become Lord, or we cannot become one with Krishna, and therefore we should serve him. Like some students, when they start studying, they think that they will conquer everything and they will read all the books within few days. But after they start furthering, understand that it will take a lot of time. Similarly, when somebody starts devotional, he thinks that he will achieve success very soon. but then realize it will take some time and while to achieve it. So realizing this, he becomes attached to Supreme Personality Godhead and surrenders to him. At such a time, one can understand that the Lord Sri Krishna is very mercy is everything, and that is the cause of all causes, and that the material manifestation is not independent from him. He realizes that the material world to be the perverted reflection of the spiritual variegatedness, and realizes that in everything there is a relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. So, whatever is there in this material world, everything is related to Krishna, and therefore we should think that how the things can be utilized for Krishna's service. Thus, he thinks of everything in relation to Vasudeva or Sri Krishna. Such a universal vision of Vasudeva precipitates one's full surrender to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna as the highest goal. Such surrendered souls, great souls, are very rare. So, even in the devotees of Lord, one who says that I want to fully surrender to Lord Krishna, such devotees are very rare, that who has such goal. So, so many people go to Lord and have so many desires and have so many destinations they want. Somebody goes to Lord that he wants to go to Swarga, somebody wants liberation, all. But to consider that Krishna is the main goal is very rare. And therefore, this verse is nicely explained in the third chapter, verse 14, 15 of the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumin Visvato Vritva Tyatisthat Dasanugulam Purusha evidam sarvam yad bhutam yadcha bhavam उत्तमृत्तत् वश्येशनो yad anena titro rohoti. In the Chandogya Upanishad 5.1.15 it is said, Navaivacho na chakshumsi na shotrani na manam siti achakshate. Prana iti eva chakshate prano hya eve tani sarvani bhavati. In the body of the living being, neither the power to speak, nor the power to see, nor the power to hear, nor the power to think is the prime factor. It is life which is the center of all activities. Similarly, Lord Vasudeva, or the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna is the prime entity in everything. So, body has so many activities, but the center is life. If there is no life, nothing can be done. Similarly, Krishna is the prime entity in everything. In this body, there are powers of speaking, of seeing, of hearing, of mental activities, but these are not important if not related to Supreme Lord. And because Vasudeva is all pervading and everything is Vasudeva, the devotee surrenders in full knowledge. BhagavadGita 7.17 and 11.40. So, we should understand that the most important thing is Krishna and he is all pervading everything. So, this is very important. Like I recently heard one class and I was asking devotees also. See, when do we need happiness? Do we need happiness on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? And devotees said always. And people in general also said always. We need happiness every day. Then on any particular day, do we need happiness in the morning, afternoon, evening, or night? So again, people said that we need happiness whole day. The next question comes, where do we need happiness from? From parents, from children, from teacher, from boss, from employee, or from whom do we expect happiness? Then everybody said that we expect happiness from everybody. It is not that particularly from this person. We expect happiness from everybody. Everybody should make us happy. Then in which place do we need happiness? In office, in a home, or in school, or colleges, or at workplace? At which place do we need happiness? And again, all answer that we need happiness everywhere. So, uh, therefore, if we need happiness everywhere, if we need happiness in all the places, if we need happiness at all the times from all the people, only Krishna can give this happiness, because Krishna is one person who is there everywhere. Krishna is one person who is there in each and every living entity. Krishna is one person who is there in all the days and all the times. And therefore, only he can give us complete happiness, not any other person. And therefore, it's said that Vasudeva is all pervading and everything is Vasudeva. The devotee surrenders in full knowledge. So this is the way how one can understand things. Further, so what about other demigods? So we should, it is concluded that we should only surrender to Krishna. So we understood. Then the question is, what about the other devatas? So here Krishna answers in verse number 20. Kame ste ter hita jnana prabhatyante anya devata tam tam niyama asthaya prakrityani smaya. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. So, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires, that means those intelligence is after getting material desire, that I want this and this and that. They surrender to demigods. So, and follow the particular rules and worship according to their own natures. So one is following demigods, and another is worshipping. So in Vedas, particular thing is given that if you worship this person, you get this, and if you worship this person, you get that, or this devata is that. So the purpose of Vedas is not to encourage anybody to worship this devata or that devata. The purpose of Veda is to worship Supreme Personality of Godhead only directly. But Vedas knows, or Vyasadeva knew, that nobody, most of the people will not be encouraged to worship Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, but they will like to worship this or that person. And therefore, Vedas has this facility. Oh, if you want to worship this devata, worship like this or worship like this. So at least person will be in devotional service. At least a person will gradually elevate himself and gradually come to the conclusion that Supreme Personal God is everything. So the purpose of Vedas is not to encourage one to hanker for material desires, but to gradually elevate one to transfer his material desire to spiritual desires. And therefore, there are some provisions given. Like Vedas also say that how can one eat non-vegetarian foods or drink something or something. So it is not to encourage, because if we see, there are so many rules and regulations for killing the animal, for eating and everything. So if we see, then all these things are there so that one is gradually prohibited from doing that thing. So that is the main purpose. It is not to encourage, but to discourage. Similarly, here also, if we see, all the Vedas are written in a particular way. Some are written for the person who are in the mode of goodness, some are written for the person who are mode of passion, some are written in the mode of ignorance. So according to the person, the nature one has, one is given that type of worship. And in that way, one can worship the different demigods. So this way it is done. So it's not to encourage, but gradually to elevate one to the highest goal, to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead will also be happy if we worship him directly. Like the example given of the tree. So when somebody waters the root of tree, the whole tree is nourished. But if somebody tries to water each and every leaf and everything, then the tree will not be nourished. And therefore, directly serving the Supreme Personality God is best. But still, if one is not inclined to do, then at least one should worship Devatas with the desire that whatever is good for me, please do that. Or according to the scriptures, one should worship. Purport. Those who are free from all material contamination surrender to the Supreme Lord and engage in his devotional service. As long as the material contamination is not completely washed off, they are by nature non-devotees. So, till the time we have some material contaminations, we cannot be 100% engaged in devotional service. And therefore, we should try that we should be gradually be purified from all contamination. But even those who have material desires and who resort to Supreme Lord are not so much attracted by external nature, because they approach the right goal. They soon become free from all material lust. So it is very important that anybody who has even material desires can directly worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there is no prohibition to anybody to worship Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when the goal is right, what happens is if there are some material contamination, it all washed away. And within very fast or within few lifetimes or maybe few years in this lifetime, one can go back to Godhead. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is recommended that whether one is pure devotee and is free from all material desires, or is in full of material desires, or desires liberation from material contamination, he should in all cases surrender to Vasudeva and worship him. As said in Bhagavatam 2.3.10. So we already recited this verse, akamo sarva kamo va, moksha kama udaradi, tivrena bhakti yogena yenta purushapumam. So less intelligent people who have lost that spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desires. Generally, such people do not go to Supreme Personality of Godhead because then the lower modes of nature, ignorance and passion, therefore worship various demigods. So generally people who are in the modes of ignorance and passion, generally they worship different demigods according to their own modes. Following the rules and regulation of worship, they are satisfied. The worshipper of demigods are motivated by small desires and do not know how to reach the supreme goal, but a devotee of Supreme Lord is not misguided. Because in the Vedic literature, there are recommendations for worshipping different gods for different purposes. Example, a diseased person, a man, is recommended to worship the sun. Those who are not devotees of Lord think that for the certain purposes demigods are better than the Supreme Lord. But a pure devotee knows that the Supreme Lord Krishna is the master of all. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 5.1.2, it is said, Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arasa Britya. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is master and all others are servants. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. He depends on Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gives. So, very important thing to note here is that for any purpose, one can go to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes one thinks that for this thing, we should go to this demigod, that there is no need of going to different demigods, because like one example is given, the whole purpose of a well, like washing clothes or taking bath or washing different things, utensils and all, can be fulfilled by a river. So if one goes to a river, all the purpose of the well can be fulfilled. And similarly, all the purposes, whatever we have, can be fulfilled by going to Lord Krishna directly rather than going to different demigods. It is like in material example, if we see, if we want something, if we go directly to the Prime Minister, it's much more easier than going to different ministers one after another and doing the work. So like this here also, if we can directly go to Krishna, it is much more easier than going to different places. And Second is, see, we may aspire for different things, but Krishna knows what is best for us. So we may go to Krishna and declare that this is what we want, but then a pure devotee is satisfied in whatever he gives. So one should be satisfied in whatever we get. So we may ask Krishna that I want this or that. But then if Krishna is happy, then we will also be happy. And therefore, whatever he gives, we should be happy in that. And then uh, further, he says that actually what the demigods give to us is also given by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yo yo yam yam tanu bhakta shraddhayarchitam ichhati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhami aham. I am in everyone's heart as super soul, and as soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to the particular deity. So, if we see, even the desire to worship that demigod, that is made steady by Krishna. So that when one worships some demigod, what happens is desires is fulfilled. And in that way, what happens is his faith on that particular demigod is very much fixed on. So that also is done by Krishna. So God has given independence to everyone. Therefore, if person desires to have material enjoyment and wants very sincerely to have such facilities from the material demigods, the Supreme Lord, as super soul in everyone's heart, understands and gives facility to such persons. So, if we see, Krishna says that surrender to me and all. So, he's not an autocrat. That means he wants surrender from us voluntarily and not by force. In this world, if we see, if somebody is rich, somebody has a lot of power, what happens is he will try to force us to surrender to him. Like we see in the case of Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu forced all the demigods to surrender to him. And then he was even forcing Prahlad to surrender to him. But in if we see in contrast, Krishna does not force us to surrender to him. And if somebody wants to surrender to any particular demigod, then Krishna facilitates the surrender to that demigod and gives facilities to that person so that one's faith in that demigod increases. And therefore, this is a specialty of Krishna, that he never forces anybody to surrender to him, but facilitates his surrender to any demigod which the person likes. As a supreme father of all divinities, he does not interfere with their independence. So everybody is given some independence and does not interfere, but gives all facilities so that they can fulfill their material desires. Some may ask that why the all-powerful could give facilities, all-powerful God gives facilities for living entities for enjoying this material world, and so lets them fall into a trap of illusory energy. So one may ask that, oh, why does Krishna give us facilities so that one may fall into material world again and again? So the answer is that the Supreme Lord as Super Soul does not give such facilities, then there is no meaning to independence. So if Krishna does not give us facilities, then what will happen? Then how are we independent? So one will ask that, oh, if one is independent, that means he should be able to fulfill desire. And therefore, Krishna never ever takes our independence. He gives us full independence to fulfill our material desires. And therefore, if something wrong happens to us, if something wrong happens to us, then what happens is, it is not because of Krishna. It is because of our own desires. In the past, we desired something, and therefore, we get such karma. Similar, when somebody gets something good in life, then what happens is one does not go to Lord. But if somebody gets something wrong, then what happens is one goes to Lord, that how this thing is happening to me. So that is not by my Lord, because Lord has given us full independence, and therefore, whatever thing happened to us, it is because of our own previous actions. Both the living entity and demigods are subordinate to the will of Supreme Personality Godhead. Therefore, the living entity cannot worship the demigod by his own desire, nor can the demigod bestow any benediction without the supreme will. So this is also a very important thing. See, we cannot uh, worship the supreme, the demigods independently. It requires help from supreme God. Similarly, the demigod also cannot bestow any benediction without supreme will. So Krishna as Paramatma is sitting in everybody's heart, and he is sanctioning that he should get or this or this. Without the sanction of Supreme Personality of Godhead, even the demigods are incapable to give any benediction. As it is said, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then the question will come that if not a blade of grass moves without Supreme Personality of Godhead, then are we really independent? So the thing is, we are independent in our actions. What action we take, there we are independent. But when the reaction comes, we have to take it. So we cannot be independent. I will not take this reaction or no. No. So we can do whatever we like, but then the consequences, whatever comes, we have to bear that, either good or bad. Therefore, we should be understanding that independence means that one is independent to do whatever one likes, but then one has to face also the consequences. And therefore, this we should understand. Generally, persons who are distressed in the material world go to demigods as they are advised in the Vedic literature. A person wanting some particular thing may worship such a demigod. For example, this person is recommended to worship the sun god. A person wanting education may worship the goddess of learning, Saraswati. And a person wanting a beautiful wife may worship the goddess Uma and the wife of Lord Shiva. In this way, there are recommendations in the Shastra Vedic scriptures for different modes of worship of different demigods. And because a particular living entity wants to enjoy uh, a particular material facility, the Lord inspires him with a strong desire to achieve that benediction from that particular demigod. And so he successfully receives the benediction. The particular mode of devotional attitude of the living entity towards a particular type of demigod is also arranged by the Supreme Lord. The demigods cannot infuse the living entities with such an affinity, but because he is the Supreme Lord or the Super Soul who is present in the hearts of all living entities, Krishna gives impetus to men to worship certain demigods. The demigods are actually the different parts of the universal body of Supreme Lord. Therefore, they have no independence. In the Vedic literature, it is stated the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Super Soul is also present within the heart of demigod. Therefore, he arranges through the demigod to fulfill the desire of the living entity, but both the demigod and the living entity are dependent on the supreme will. They are not independent. So, our purpose in whatever we do is to satisfy our acharyas, is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, when we do things which satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead in our heart, then what happens? The Supreme Personality of Godhead is also sitting in the heart of all the living entities. And in that way, what happens is the Supreme Personality Godhead directs that living entity, oh, accept this, do this, or do not do this. And this way, our desires are fulfilled. So therefore, we should understand that we are not capable to even worship the demigod. The inspiration, the desire to worship the demigod also comes from Supreme Personality Godhead. And what are results we get from the demigod also from Supreme Personality Godhead. So actually, everything is done by Supreme Personality Godhead, and therefore, it is better that if we directly worship Supreme Personality Godhead instead of going to different demigods. Then further, continuing this, Sataya Shaddaya Yuktas tasya aradhanam ihate labhate cha tata kaman mayeva bihitan hitan. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. So, the faith to worship the demigod is given by Supreme Personality Godhead. At the same time, the faith uh, that the benefits will come is also given by Supreme Personality Godhead. And actually, the benefits are also bestowed by Supreme Personality of Godhead. No other person can give us that benefits also. Why other person cannot give us that benefits? Let's understand this logically. See, except for Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities are under the laws of material nature. So demigods are also living entities who are empowered living entities. So they are empowered by Krishna to do a particular thing. But still, they are also not above the material modes of nature. They are also under the modes of material nature. And therefore, we see that when Krishna worshipped Govardhan hill instead of Indra 1 year, what happened is Indra they became very angry that how could they do dialects. So in that way, he came under the material mode of passion and ignorance, and then he had to be uh, taught a lesson, and then Krishna gave him sufficient lesson that how, and without harming him in any way, without fighting or anything, in a very decent way that he gave a lesson to Indra. And similarly, whenever we see that the demigods are in difficulty, that some demon has attacked him or something, what they go is they go to Brahma, and uh, after going to Brahmaji, when Brahmaji also cannot solve the problem, they go to Supreme Personality Godhead, Vishnu, lying as Sri Krishna, Vishnu or something. So uh, actually, even demigods go to help to Supreme Personality of Godhead only, and all the desires which are fulfilled of us is also done by Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, it is logical that we should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. Purpose: the demigods cannot avoid meditation to his devotees without the permission of the Supreme Lord. The living entity may forget that everything is a property of the Supreme Lord, but the demigods do not forget. So, there is a difference between the Asura and the Sura. See, both of them get benefits from the Supreme Personality Godhead, but the demigods do not forget this that, oh, we are getting everything from Supreme Personality Godhead, and therefore they worship him. So the worship of demigods and achievements of desired results are due not to the demigods, but to the Supreme Personality God by arrangement. The less intelligent living entity does not know this, and therefore he foolishly goes to demigods for some benefit. But the pure devotee, when in need of something, prays only to Supreme Lord. Asking for material benefit, however, is not a sign of pure devotee. So, see, uh, the less intelligent living being, that means the person, what they do, they go to demigods and ask for some benefit. But if somebody is a pure devotee, he will not ask anything to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Asking for material benefit, however, is not a sign of pure devotee. See, what a pure devotee thinks that the Krishna is living in the heart as super soul, and he knows what I desire, what I want, everything. So why should I ask him of any material desire? Because anyways, he is giving everything. See, if we see in this material world, the air, the water, the rains, uh, the food grains, even if we need to make a house, the cement, the bricks, everything is all produced by Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, all our material desires are already fulfilled by Supreme Personality of God. And therefore, without even asking, he provides all these things. So why to ask Supreme Personality of God for these things? What one should do is, one should ask for pure devotion from Supreme Personality of God. Why? Because Krishna does not award pure devotion to anybody. Because by awarding pure devotion, what happens is he's giving himself to other person. And therefore, Krishna awards material desires to anybody very easily, but not pure devotional service. And therefore, in this world, if we want to strive for something, we should strive for something which is not attainable in the three worlds, and that is pure devotional service. And therefore, pure devotees do not ask for anything. Uh, a living entity goes to demigods usually because he's mad to fulfill his lust. This happens when something undue is desired by a living entity and the Lord himself does not fulfill the desire. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that one who worships the Supreme Lord at the same time desires material enjoyment is contradictory in his desires. So, devotional service to Supreme Lord and worship of demigod cannot be on the same platform because worship of demigod is material and devotional service to Supreme Lord is completely spiritual. So there's a difference between both, and therefore we should understand that when something is undue, one generally goes to demigods that I want this or this. So actually, it is not love but lust. Lust means by definition is to do what we like, to do what we desire. And love is contrary to do what others desire or what Krishna desires is called love. So in this world, we see that mother, she serves a child, and that is what some degree of love is in that relationship. Otherwise, most of relationship is like you give me something, I will give you something. So this way, these relationships also in this world are selfish in nature, and this happens with demigods also. And therefore, when you worship Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is completely spiritual and not material. For a living entity who desires to return to Godhead, material desires are impediments. So these are impediments. See, why material desires are impediments is because it takes away our time. Suppose we desire this or this, what happens is for that desire we spend sufficient time. And after desire is fulfilled, what happens is we have to take care of that. Nah? Suppose we desire that I want a good house and our desire is fulfilled. So after the desire is fulfilled, what happens is uh, we also need to uh, maintain that house and do so many things for the house. So in that way, if we see, so much of time was wasted, and therefore material desires are considered as an impediment. A pure devotee of the Lord is therefore not awarded material benefits desired by less intelligent living entities, who therefore prefer to worship demigods of the material world rather than engage in devotional service of the Supreme Lord. So pure devotees of the Lord, they are not awarded material benefits, but only spiritual things. So Krishna will fulfill material desires of also, but when one becomes pure and understands that material desires are not good, then he will not give them material desires. But initially, if somebody comes to Krishna for material desires, he will fulfill the material desires also. Like in the case of Dhruv Maharaj, we see that he wanted a kingdom which is greater than his forefather, Brahmaji, and he was awarded such a kingdom uh, by the Lord. So again, why if it worship demigod and gets a result, why it is not good? Because it is temporary. So this will be explained in verse number 23. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpamedasam devan deva yajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. So, when we worship the demigods, what happens is the fruits are limited. So, the fruits are limited. So, see, if somebody worships Indra, one can go till the Swarga only because Indradev does not have jurisdiction above Swarga. He cannot go to Brahma Lokam. So in that sense, we see that the fruits are limited. And second, it is temporary. Temporary means when Indra will go, when his ayu or his life is also complete, and what will happen? The benefit which we have got will also be vanished. So in Bhagavatam, it is said that in one day of Brahma, uh, so 71 Indradev comes. So one day of Brahma, 71 Indradev comes. Sorry, 14 Indra comes, and one Indra has a lifestyle or a lifespan of 71 Divya Yugas, plus something. So if we worship that Indra, what will happen is our lifespan will increase. Compared to this material life, we can see that 71 Divya Yugas. So one Divya Yuga is around 43 lakh 20,000. So 71 into 40 lakh 20,000, that will be our lifespan maximum if we go to Indradev. But when the Indradev life is over, then this benediction will also be gone. So therefore, it is temporary or it is limited. So both the things we can see that one cannot go beyond that level, and also it is temporary. And therefore, those who worship to demigods go to the planet of demigods. Like somebody in this world is studying medical science or medical college, so he'll get a medical degree. He will get a MBBS degree. And somebody who is studying engineering will get an engineering degree. So similarly, somebody who worships demigods will go to demigod planet. So sometimes it's said that if you worship anybody, you still reach the same goal. So it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that if we worship anybody, we reach the same goal. No. If somebody studies medical thing, then he will become a doctor. He cannot become an engineer. Similarly, if worship anybody, we cannot go back to Godhead to spiritual world. Whomever we worship, we will go to that planet. And therefore, he said, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. So Krishna's devotees or Vishnu's devotees, whatever incarnation may worship, maybe Varadev or maybe Narasimha Bhagwan or maybe Rama or anybody. So one will go to that planet, to the supreme planet. And it is ultimately means what? That in between he may go to different planets, there may be sometimes ups and downs or all, but ultimately means he is surely going to reach that planet. And therefore, one should not be worried about the speed. One should be worried about the direction. Is my goal clear or not? Is my goal perfect or not? If the goal of that person is good, then even if the speed is less, gradually it will increase and one will definitely reach the Supreme Personal Godhead. There is no competition there. Everybody will reach the Supreme Personal Godhead. Everybody will get the first rank. So therefore, we should be very sure that our practices are pure. Our goal is pure. If our practice and goal are pure, definitely we'll reach the Supreme Personality of God sooner or later. See, there may be some anarthas between us. There may be some shortcomings in us. And that will be taken care by Krishna. Because Krishna says, I preserve what you have and I even give whatever you lack. So therefore, we should note that this is a very important thing. Purport. Some commentators of Bhagavad say that one worships a demigod can reach the Supreme Lord, but here it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigod go to different planetary systems where various demigods are situated. This is a worshipper of sun achieves the sun, or a worshipper of demigod of moon achieves the moon. Similarly, if anyone wants to worship a demigod like Indra, he can attain that particular god's planet. So we discussed this. It is not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worship, will still reach the Supreme Personal God. This is denied here. That is denied here. For it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to different planets in the material world, but the devotee of Supreme Lord goes directly to the Supreme Planet of the personality of Godhead. So we should be rest sure that if we are worshiping Supreme Personality Godhead, we will go there only. See, in general terms also, if we see, if anybody is working, so how much salary can he get? What is the highest possibility of salary he get? Depends on where he is working. If suppose somebody is working in a company and the overall profit of the company is 1 CR, then he cannot expect salary beyond a certain limit. Max he can get is 1 CR. That's all. No, nobody can be more because the company is not earning. So how can you give that salary or even profits beyond that? But suppose one is working under a very, very rich person who is earning trillions and billions and trillions of crores of rupees. Or one is working in a company, or one is a proprietor of a firm which has trillions and trillions of money. So that person can get more money for himself. Similarly, if the company is not earning, the person will not get, whether he's an employee or a owner. Similarly, if the person whom he's worshipping is doesn't have that power, is not that rich, how can he get it? It's very simple. And therefore, Supreme Personality over Krishna or Vishnu is above this all material planets, and therefore they can help us to go back to spiritual world. But whereas Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Sun planet, they are not beyond this material world. They are in this material world. So how can they let us beyond the material world? It is like there are different prisoners in this material world. Some are being chained by the iron chain, and some are being chained by gold chain. So somebody who has gold chain will say, "Oh, I am better than you, because at least I am imprisoned, but I have this gold chain." And somebody said, "Oh, you have this chain made of iron, so you are less powerful or something." It doesn't work like this. You are chained means you are a prisoner. Whether it is a gold chain or iron chain, it doesn't matter. And therefore, very important to note that if we want to go to that particular planet, we should worship that particular personality. So here further, here the point may be raised that if the demigods are different parts of the body of Supreme Lord, and then the same end should be achieved by worshipping them. However, the worshipper of lesser because they don't know what part of body would be supplied. So the point is this, that if the demigods are different parts of the body, then why they should not get the same result? Because one doesn't know which part of the body the food is supplied. Some of them are so foolish that they claim that there are many parts and many ways to supply food. This isn't very sanguine. Can anybody supply food to the body through the eyes or ears? They do not know that these demigods are different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord. And in that ignorance, they believe that each and every demigod is a separate God and a competitor to the Supreme God. So we should know where to supply food. We should know where to water the tree. If we water the tree in different leaves and all, we will not get success, because we should water it at the root. Similarly, if we supply food to ears, eyes and all, it will not be beneficial. So if we see that any demigod has a part and parcel of Supreme Personality God, and worship as said that you are the part and parcel of Supreme Personality Godhead, then gradually we can go back to God. But if somebody thinks that this demigod, that is all in all, and he's the Supreme Personality Godhead, then one will not achieve his destination, because he doesn't know which part of the body the food is to be supplied, and therefore will not go back to Godhead. Not only that are demigods parts of Supreme Lord, but ordinary living entities are also. This is very important thing. See here, we are all parts and parcel of Supreme Personality Godhead. We are all. Just that the demigods are more empowered than us because they have done some pious activity in the previous lives. Like suppose in this world, somebody may go in a Ferrari, somebody may go in the Mercedes, and somebody may travel even the bus. But roads are available for everybody, and everybody can travel from one distance to another. So similarly, what happens is we are also living in the material world, and demigods are also living this material world. And they're all parts and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the Brahmanas are the head of Supreme Lord, the Kshatriyas the eyes, arms, the Vaishyas the waist, and the Shudras the legs, and all serve different functions. Regardless of the situation, if one knows that both the demigods and himself are the part and parcel of Supreme Lord, his knowledge is perfect. So, perfect knowledge means to know who are we, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is material nature, and what is the interrelation between all these things. So if we know that the demigods and we ourselves are part and parcel of Supreme Lord, then our knowledge is perfect. And therefore, even if somebody worship the demigods, they worship him as a part and parcel of Supreme Personality God and understand that demigods are not independent, and therefore gradually the person will be elevating. But if he does not understand this, he achieves different planets where the demigods reside. This is not the same destination as the devotee reaches. So the destination will be both. The result achieved by demigods meditation are perishable because within this material world, the planets, demigods, and the worshipper all are perishable. So this is very important thing. See, meditation, why they are perishable? Because planet is perishable, where they live, all will dissolve. Demigods are perishable, and we also are perishable. So therefore, it is all done. This is all material plan. It's all, see, if you see the material benefits, like good house, good money and all, it's all material plane. And material plane, everything is destructible. Nothing in material plane is can be remain forever. And we have seen this. The buildings come and they are demolished within time. So many empires have come and they have gone. So all can be perishable. Therefore, it's clearly stated in this verse that all results achieved by worshipping demigods are perishable, and therefore such worship is performed by the less intelligent living entity. Because the pure devotee is engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service of Supreme Lord, achieves eternal blissful existence that is full of knowledge. His achievements and those of the common worshipper of demigod are different. The Supreme Lord is unlimited, his favor is unlimited, his mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon his pure devotees is unlimited. So, very important, Supreme Lord is unlimited. His favor is also unlimited. He can do unlimited favors. His mercy is also unlimited. He does so much mercy, and therefore his mercy on the Supreme Lord on his pure devotees is unlimited. So we see, we have seen the classic example in the movie Mahavatar Narasimha, and also the same in Puranas of his Leela. See, if we see the Hiranyakashipu did tapasya for so many years to become immortal. But still, he was killed by Narsimdev. Whereas Prahlad Maharaj never asked for immortality. He was just worshipping the Supreme Personality God. He was a devotee of Supreme Personality God. And Hiranyakashipu tried to kill him in so many ways, but he was even immortal. So therefore, the results which we get by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by becoming his devotee, is much greater, much grander, and much permanent than worshipping the demigods. And therefore, with all our seriousness, with all our lacking which we have, with whatever we have, we should just worship the Supreme Personality God. And gradually, whatever lacking, whatever this shortcomings we have, will gradually vanish. It will take its own time, but it will definitely happen. So therefore, we should worship the Supreme Personality of God. Further, avyaktam vyaktim apannam manyate mama bhutaya param bhavam ajananto mama vyayam anuttamam. Unintelligent man who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality God Krishna, was impersonal before, and now assume this personality. Due to the small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. So this is also a very important thing. Somebody who is not intelligent, they will think that Krishna or Lord is impersonable. Impersonal means this like light. It has no hands, no legs, no eyes, and all. So impersonal. It is not person. So like we are person. A personality has, he can hear, he can talk to us, he can have relation with. But Krishna is impersonal. That is what some unintelligent person think. And now, because of coming this material world, he has assumed personality. So from impersonal, from nothing, or from light, the person has come. So due to that small knowledge, they do not know that my higher nature, which is impersonal. So because one does not have knowledge, did not know that Krishna is even higher nature or supreme person. Purport. Those who are worshippers of demigods have been described as less intelligent person, and here the impersonal are similarly described here. So the impersonal is a person who does not believe in the Lord as a person, but they think that he doesn't have eyes, ears, and all, is not person. And similarly, they also want to merge into that or become Lord. The Lord Krishna in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna, and still due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. So we see here Krishna is himself speaking to Arjuna. He has two hands and he is doing so many leelas. But still, impersonally think, no, it is not Krishna, it is somebody within Krishna or somebody uh, outside of Krishna, and Krishna has no form. This is what they argue. Yamunacharya, great devote of Lord in the succession of Ramanujarya, has written two very appropriate verses. Krishna says, Tvam Srila Rupa Charita Parama Prakastaye Sattve na Satvikataya Prabalaischa Shastrai Prakhayata Daiva Paramartha Vidvam Matescha Naiva Sura Prakritaya Prabhavanti Bodham. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasdev and Narada know you to be the personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, your form, and your activities. And one can thus understand that you are the supreme personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion ignorance, the demons and non-devotees cannot understand you. So for understanding also Supreme Personality of Godhead, we should be in the mode of goodness, at least, or Shuddha Sattva. Otherwise, you cannot understand them. And therefore, some people say, can you see me, God? Can I see the Lord? Can you show me the Lord and all? So it is not that whether somebody, we can show the Lord to them. The problem is whether we have the capacity to see the Lord. Like somebody may tell that I want to go close to sun. I want to see sun very closely. So the heat of sun is such that if somebody, even in the summer season, in the afternoon, somebody goes and see the sun, after some within a few seconds, his eyes will be illusioned. He will fall down with that. So we are not having that eyes to see the sun God. Then how can we see Lord? And therefore, we should understand that we should come to the mode of goodness and then Shuddha Sattva. Then only we can see the Lord. They are unable to understand you. However, experts such non-devotees may be discussing Vedanta and Upanishads and other Vedic literatures. It is not possible for them to understand personality of God. So it is not that by reading so many scriptures we may understand Lord. No, reading scriptures is helping us to know the Lord. But the main thing is devotional service. Devotion to the Lord can help us understand the Lord very nicely. Otherwise, cannot. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the personality of God cannot be understood simply by Vedanta, study of Vedanta literature. It doesn't mean that study is not important. Study is definitely important. But somebody says, if only by study we can know Supreme Personality, then that is wrong. Only by the mercy of Supreme Lord can the personality of God as Supreme be known. So even if we do lot of tapasya, we do lot of chanting, hearing, everything, it is because of mercy that we can, Supreme Personality of God can know us. We can know the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, in this verse, it is clearly stated that not only the worshippers of demigods less intelligent, but those non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta and speculation on Vedic literatures are also, and without any teach of true Krishna consciousness, are also less intelligent. And for them, it is not possible to understand God's personal nature. So, even such person who do not believe in the personality of God are less intelligent. Person who are under the impression that the absolute feature, the absolute, the truth is impersonal, absolute is impersonal, are described as abuddhaya, which means those who do not know the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. So they are called as not unintelligent but less intelligent. Unintelligent means they don't know anything, but less intelligent means they are less intelligent. That means they have known Brahman, but they have not known Paramatma feature or Bhagwan feature. So the person who knows all this feature is considered the most intelligent person. And who does not know all this, they are considered less intelligent. That means they have intelligence, but it is not full intelligence. Truth is impersonal desire abudaya, which means those who do not have ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the supreme realization begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to localized super soul, and the ultimate word in the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead. So there are three aspects: Brahman, Paramatmiti, Bhagwan. So one who knows this all three is considered knowledgeable. Modern impersonalists are still less intelligent, for they do not even follow the great preacher Sankaracharya, who has specifically stated that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the supreme truth, think that Krishna to be only son of Devaki and Vasudeva or a prince or a powerful living entity. This is also condemned the Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Avajananti mamura manusham tanum ashrita. Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person. So, we should not even consider Krishna as ordinary person. This is also wrong. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam confirms this. अथापि ते देवपदाम्बुजदया प्रसादलेशानुगृहीत एव हि जानाति तत्त्वं भगवन्महिम्नो न चान्यो एकोऽपि चिरं विचिन्वन्. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight glance of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the supreme personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. So, even to know Krishna, we should be favored by Krishna. Otherwise, even if we speculate for years and years and years, we will not know Krishna. One cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna or his form, quality, or a name simply by mental speculation or discussing the Vedic literature. So, just by seeing Tarka Vitarka, this may be like this, one will not be understood. One must understand him by devotion service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning with chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So by chanting this Maha Mantra, then only one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Non-devotees, impersonalists think that Krishna is made as a body made of this material nature and that all his activities, his form and everything are Maya. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They do not know the ultimate truth. The 20th verse clearly states, Kame Staitarhita Jnana Prabhadantyana Devata. Those who are blinded by lusty desire surrender into the different demigods. It is accepted that besides the Supreme Personality Godhead, there are demigods who have their different planets. And the Lord also has a planet. As stated in the 23rd verse, Devan Devo Yanti Mad Bhaktan Yanti Mamapi. The worshippers of demigods go to different planets of the demigods, and those who are devotees of Lord Krishna go to Krishna Loka planet. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish impersonalists still maintain that the Lord is formless and that these forms are impositions. From the study of Gita, does it appear that demigods and the abodes are impersonal? Clearly, neither the demigods nor Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are impersonal. They are all persons. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he has his own planet and the demigods has theirs. So everybody is personal, even the demigods are personal, everybody is personal, and therefore we should understand. See, every personality also has its impersonal form. So these three, Brahman, Paramatma is Bhagwan is there, Brahman and Bhagwan is there everywhere. Like if you see the sun god is a person, but sun rays which we get here are impersonal. So from personality comes impersonal features. So like Krishna, his person, but his Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence from his body is impersonal. So if there is a impersonal thing, we should understand there is a personality behind that. Nothing can be like that. So listen. Therefore, the monistic contention that ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold true. It is clearly stated here that it is not imposed. From the Bhagavad Gita, we can clearly understand that the forms of demigods and the form of Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and that the Lord Krishna is Sachidan, eternal blissful knowledge. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Anandmayo Abhyasat, or by nature full of blissful pleasure, and that He is the reservoir of unlimited auspicious qualities. And in the Gita, the Lord says that although He is Aja Anubhav, He still appears. These are the facts that we should understand from the Bhagavad Gita. We cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statement of Gita are concerned. It is clear herein as a supreme absolute truth, Lord Krishna has both form and personality. So, this is the final message from today's class, that we should understand that Krishna is personal and he has personal form, and therefore we should worship him and supreme personality of Godhead. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.